Many of us are presently being shaken up quite thoroughly, and for those who are experiencing this, they feel very, very clearly that they are not at all in harmony with the blueprint of their soul and are completely out of sync with their true purpose. And if you perceive it that way too, then you are right in the middle of the spiritual awakening process, standing firmly on both feet. Absolutely, let us delve into this episode to ascertain if and why that is the situation specifically for you. My name is Linda Gysi. I have been a spiritual mentor for 20 years, and I am the founder of the Being Potential Method. Through this, we have the opportunity to decipher the blueprint of your soul. And if you would like more information on this, I have included the link in the info box. In fact, it is not that complicated to understand what is happening at this present moment. For if we simply assume that the various laws of the universe, as well as the laws of the blueprint of your soul, all rest on the same three pillars, namely the pillar of truth, the pillar of love, and the pillar of wisdom. When we take this into consideration, it becomes apparent why, at this particular moment in time, more than ever before, we feel out of synchronization with the laws that govern the cosmos. And of course, our entire world events are not in harmony with cosmic laws, and each individual is also not in alignment with the blueprint of their soul. And the world, it is currently showing itself out there at this very moment in all its ugly untruth. Without any filters or disguises. Nevertheless, even our own highly personal way of life is occasionally paved with a multitude of compromises, adjustments, and a profound lack of love that deeply impacts us. However, simultaneously, we can also acknowledge that life vehemently attempts to lead us towards something, to reveal something to us, to rouse us from our slumber. In other words, despite the disorderly nature of things, life actively seeks to minimize the amount of disorder and strive towards a state of greater order and organization. And therefore also towards order, and that is super, super exciting. During this process, our perception is that we experience everything as decay, as we actively work towards reducing disorder and striving for the possibility of achieving a higher and more organized new order. So all of the rethinking, the complete transformation, the change that we are currently undergoing, all of these are aspects that clearly demonstrate the reformatting of energy, or to be more precise, information into a higher order of complexity and organization. All things that currently exist in the universe do so due to the information that permeates them and surrounds them in their respective environments and conditions. Yes, you can delve into quantum physics as it is explained in a highly vivid manner within that particular resource. Or those who have shamanic experiences, who can easily look into the fabric of time, who can easily see energies, they can also provide a different justification for that in a different manner for themselves. Yes, that everything that exists is surrounded by and also permeated by an energy. And that provides structure and shape to the entirety. Yes, even when we examine and analyze the word information and its meaning, this is ultimately energy going into form. So if we base this on that, then we also know that the information density is now becoming more complex due to the ascension process. The energy is being transformed into a different form, and as a result, the information density is increasing in complexity during the ascension process. As we ascend to higher levels, we gather more information and encounter a greater complexity that encompasses the entire situation. And naturally, in the initial phase, there gives rise to an information disorder that seeks simplification and consequently strives for order to be established. I believe it's crucial to be aware of this because, naturally, we can always blame everything or even evaluate ourselves because there is something within us that is presently in a state of disarray. Nevertheless, once we grasp the fact that during the ascension process, both the earth and humans are intricately involved, we come to realize that there is an automatic amplification in the density of information, and in the beginning, it is inherently characterized by a logical disorder. Subsequently, it becomes abundantly clear why everything appears so profoundly chaotic to us, and it also becomes abundantly clear why we find ourselves being pulled in a particular direction, namely towards the simplification of information, and thus, ultimately, towards the establishment of order. From my own perspective, it is an exceedingly fundamental basis upon which we should carefully contemplate our personal growth, as well as the transformations occurring externally to us. Okay. Therefore, in the course of the reorganization processes, everything in the environment appears to us as if it were falling apart, and also as if something were falling apart within ourselves. And indeed, because naturally our personal perception is also interwoven in the entirety of the matter, and our personal perception is thus also susceptible to changes and modifications that may occur over time. And we undergo that process, and we interpret it as a profound and transformative spiritual awakening experience. In an instant, our perception expands exponentially. We gain the ability to see with utmost clarity, penetrating to the very core of everything around us. We acknowledge truths that we haven't acknowledged previously. We have a sense that our own way of life, that it no longer resonates with us or is in alignment with our values and beliefs. And so much more. Suddenly we have access to higher knowledge, to greater connections, may be able to see energies or perceive them more intensely in some other form. And indeed, at times, there are rather insane experiences that are associated with it. However, we can offer assistance for this process that is inevitably accompanied by it, with the necessary attention, or at the very least, refrain from disturbing this process any longer and avoid standing in its way or hindering its progress in any manner. Because we have discussed this frequently here, that's how the internal resistances regarding change, reorganization, and perceptions work. These internal resistances are ultimately what make the whole process so difficult. But we have already discussed that many times. We won't delve into it again here now. Affirmative. A novel entity is surfacing from within our beings, ushering in a transformative phase. And if we now shift our focus and pay close attention to this new emergence and the inner truth that is intricately associated with it, then we will be thoroughly prepared and equipped to face and embrace whatever awaits us in the future. As an illustration, how can we offer support for this in a highly effective manner? Specifically, in a straightforward yet remarkably dependable way. There is a question that we can continue to ask ourselves, which is of great significance to me in this entire process. And the question that arises is, does the work I do bring a sense of satisfaction and fulfillment to me personally? I'll take the word to as a placeholder for live, align myself, etc. The things I do bring me satisfaction. I deliberately opt to use the word satisfy instead of fulfill because it accurately expresses my sense of contentment and fulfillment, because it makes the reflection tangible. Additionally, the word fulfillment carries the potential of reverting back to the spiritual realm, posing a risk of drifting. And it's simply satisfying the word that's easier to grasp. Let's make a quick example. You're probably familiar with this. You have a really nice conversation with someone, and you also get competent answers to your questions. And upon initial observation, your counterpart also appears to be genuinely interested in you. Yes, however, something is not right. In a highly specific nuance, the connection does not go deep enough for you. It lacks the necessary depth to fully satisfy your needs and expectations. So the conversation leaves you unsatisfied. Yes, there are certainly conversations that truly drain your energy. We can handle that at this moment, but there is something else, something we typically do not pay much attention to. The conversation leaves you unsatisfied. Something is lacking. Or should we employ a different example instead? You truly enjoy your job, correct? The colleagues, they are pretty nice individuals as well. The financial aspect also makes sense, right? However, for some reason, the job doesn't seem to satisfy you completely. Something is missing, yes. And of course, there are those who are completely drained from work, having no energy left afterwards. It is obviously quite evident we are already able to do that, so we have knowledge of that at that particular time without a doubt. But this lack of satisfaction, that's often overlooked. Yet, it's so important because just what happened to me last night, that makes it so clear. And I think that's also a good example to look at what this is really about in terms of satisfaction. So last night, I cooked myself something really delicious. I mean, I had something amazing to eat. And I also consumed a substantial amount. And I was excessively satiated. However, I was not content. In spite of feeling like there was no more room, I had an intense urge to satisfy my sweet tooth and knew I couldn't resist getting a dessert for myself. I observed that because it was not very smart anymore that day. However, we can see it quite well in the example of food. Thus, we are unable to accumulate an increasing amount of what already exists in our lives in order to achieve satisfaction, as it is not a viable approach. On occasion, you merely need something different in particular places. I mean, I could have eaten a lot more of my dinner than I actually did. It would not have been satisfactory for me. And if you carefully analyze your life in this manner, you will already be well aware of the hidden traps and navigate them effectively. Because all that is required for our spiritual awakening is revealed to us through the manifestations and experiences of life. The query is, can we grasp how to employ these indications and how we can, in reality, enhance and truly metamorphose situations in line with our satisfaction or fulfill our spiritual awakening and achieve a profound understanding of ourselves, our purpose, and the world around us, thereby experiencing profound growth and inner transformation? Because even in this particular case, the three pillars of truth, love, and wisdom are once again very, very helpful and play a crucial role. However, you must take a closer look at it. It is of utmost importance. We often tend to overlook the subtle details far too hastily and fail to fully grasp their significance. And it is precisely in the subtle details that an astonishing amount of information is intricately contained. There is a vast amount of wisdom in there. Yes, do not always stumble over it and just pay attention to those obvious hints, but instead take a closer look at the subtle ones that may hold valuable insights. Satisfy your life, satisfy your job, satisfy your existence, satisfy your occupation. Make sure to find satisfaction in your free time, your partner, your friendships, your hobbies, your health, your exercise, your diet, and the way you live, right? Prioritize these aspects of your life to ensure that you are truly content. This is of utmost importance. Or have you truly been signaled all along that something is missing, and are you endeavoring to compensate for it with other things that are not effective in achieving the desired outcome? This is similar to food that you can keep eating more of, but it won't have any impact, right? So pay close attention to the subtle signs. You know, every single one of us possesses their very own and unique soul blueprint that genuinely guides us on the path to liberation from our very personal dilemma, regardless of what your specific dilemma may be, correct? And even if some individuals believe, just like Uli 6912 mentioned in their comment on my most recent post, yes, with the following words, yes, where precisely should the man climb to reach his intended destination? Has the woman visited this place before? The structure of the matrix is deteriorating and coming apart. There is a significant amount of talk, but nothing essential is said. I do not possess a blueprint, and consciousness does not distribute blueprints. No, Uli. Additionally, your soul possesses a blueprint, and then I simply desire to provide a brief explanation once and for all regarding why that is and why it is of utmost importance to be aware of it. Because, quite simply, for the reason that consciousness is fundamentally full, complete, and all-encompassing in terms of its potential, possibilities, and capacity for perception, experience, and understanding. And for every single embodiment, it solely activates and triggers extremely specific potentials in order to have the unique and specific experiences it desires to have, based on its own preferences and intentions. The experience of the soul and its blueprint are shaped by the active potentials that are chosen for each incarnation, thus influencing the overall trajectory of existence. Any other thing or matter would lead to an excessive amount of information, automatically resulting in chaos, confusion, and disorder in an unmanageable and disorganized manner. As we have just discussed, that is precisely how life operates. It aims for simplification, the simplification of information, and the simplification in order to create a sense of structure. And you are a miracle, and this miracle is not you because you possess all the potentials that consciousness holds. Thus, the full potential within you is active, but you have a certain amount, a significant amount of potentials that are active, designed in such a way that there is a plan recognizable in it, ensuring that your soul can experience its journey in this incarnation of life on earth, a journey filled with growth, learning, and the realization of your true self. It is quite simple, isn't it? And a deliberate and well-planned deployment of potentials ensures the bundling and consolidation of information, thus providing the necessary power for the respective soul path and journey. That's why we also call the potentials our being potentials, because they are your very individual construction and navigation plan of your soul, and we should not impede the forward movement towards that. Yes, so we have extensively discussed and considered that matter here as well, yes. So unsatisfactory compromises and all, that is not aligned with our original blueprint and vision. According to our survival program, yes, to avoid pain, to avoid injuries, yes, that's why we make all these compromises. Ultimately, they are fear-based, but they do not align with the blueprint of our soul's essence and true purpose. To smoothly transition into the new era, it is imperative to awaken and fully comprehend our blueprint. This knowledge is vital for navigating the changes and embracing the opportunities that lie ahead. Because when we are able to see and perceive once more from the awakened state of wholeness, we will also generate entirely new and different realities that were previously unimaginable. The person will make different decisions, act differently, and create different realities based on their perception. Realities that, in turn, are in accordance with the higher order, and they are founded on the principles of love, wisdom, and truth. Even though at times awakening during the process may seem like a hellish ride, it is more like breaking out of a shell that has become too tight, or perhaps better put, breaking out of a constantly running program that is more like a closed system. Yes. How can we envision this? The way we perceive reality is greatly influenced by this, so let's refer to it as an emotional program that shapes our experiences and responses. And from this, it also follows why I refer to it as a closed system in which we are confined and unable to escape. We frequently refer to it as the matrix, correct? This is because our mental and emotional patterns play a crucial role in shaping our perception of the world and others. Understanding this is key to unlocking the immense power of our minds and harnessing it to create our desired reality. Our perception creates the reality to which we then react according to our emotional and mental patterns, or perceive this reality again based on our patterns, thus generating another reality, and so on and so forth. The process continues in an ongoing cycle, with each perception and reaction shaping subsequent realities. In reality, when all is said and done, it is in fact a never-ending vicious circle. When we become aware of this vicious cycle and open ourselves to our truth, we can break out of this closed system and thus enter a whole new level of consciousness, thereby expanding our awareness, transcending limitations, and experiencing a heightened state of being. That is the moment when it starts to get really exciting, because at that point, we uncover the previously undiscovered, which was completely unknown to us. And that encompasses our perceptions. We are progressively understanding that our world is replete with enigmas and unanswered questions, that there is a great deal more than what our physical eyes can see, a great deal more than what we have been taught. It is a known fact that there exist numerous entities in the unfathomable expanse of the universe that are presently beyond our visual detection, but we are gradually gaining a deeper understanding of their existence through the progressive refinement of our subtle perceptual abilities. Yes, in order to establish a means of gaining access to these secrets, it is necessary to undergo a process of development and acquisition. These are our first encounters with the vastness of higher dimensions, where our abilities are being tested and explored. Even individuals possessing truly remarkable capabilities are still in the early stages of development. But we're already taking the first steps in our infancy, and that's so exciting. It's worth it, right? Because you will have the ability to understand the knowledge of various aspects. Whether you have access to these larger connections, the wisdom of a tree, an animal, a mountain, or whatever it may be, right? That's what matters most. No matter what you start to channel all of a sudden, yes, you gradually grasp the essence of a situation. Even situations have an essence or arise from an essence, deriving from the consciousness of a being. You gain an increasing understanding of it, gradually uncovering its true nature and the depths of its existence. Even humanity, yes, is a being. Even humans indeed are beings. The consciousness of humanity is elevated, indicating a higher level of awareness and a deeper understanding of the world and our own existence. And this consciousness, in its turn, is what gives rise to the existence of the reality that we perceive and experience. Therefore, we exist at the very bottom of essence. The essence of a thing always underlies the thing it belongs to, serving as its fundamental core. So he is gradually gaining a deeper understanding of the essence of a situation or an object, including not only objects or a living being, but also various other aspects and so on and so forth. This may sound strange to certain individuals, but as we delve deeper into our connection with the blueprint of our soul, we unearth fascinating insights and extraordinary abilities that reside within ourselves. Indeed, that is truly fascinating. And it is undeniable that our human perception, despite its remarkable capabilities, remains inherently limited in many aspects. We do not always recognize the extent to which subtle influences, both known and unknown, consciously and unconsciously, shape our perception of reality, ultimately shaping the very fabric of our existence. Particularly at this present moment, in the realm of spirituality, we are fully aware or we firmly believe that our perception has a profound influence or actively shapes the fabric of reality, without a shadow of a doubt. However, apart from that, what other subtle influences are there that we should take into consideration? And we do not have full access to that yet, but we will be able to grasp it more and more as time goes on and our understanding improves. And not only the influences, but also the reasons, the purposes, and that goes deep. This is a thrilling journey we're starting now. Therefore, being open with ourselves, with our true being, is to enter into a relationship that has been healed and transformed through our honesty and authenticity. Yes, that is the crucial key for me, because we are unable to navigate this path without undergoing the process of healing. And I came across something incredibly thrilling, and in some way it aligns perfectly with the current situation, and I would genuinely love to share the fascinating details with you. Or I would like to share it with you. The likelihood of winning the lottery is extremely low, with odds of 1 in 140 million. The chances of hitting the jackpot are incredibly slim, making it a highly improbable event. And yet, a significant number of individuals among us continue to purchase a ticket, right? Despite the fact that there is a 1 in 4 million chance of a plane crash, we still choose to board the plane, even though the odds are extremely low. The probability of experiencing a car accident is 1 in 4,000, yet you still make the decision to drive off, even though the risk is relatively low. The chance of your existence is incredibly rare, with odds of 1 in 400. The probability of you being here is an astonishing 400 trillion, highlighting the remarkable uniqueness of your presence in this vast universe. And at this moment, you find yourself here, still seated and contemplating, questioning the value of living your life in alignment with the plan of your soul, so to speak. Or if you possess sufficient expertise and you participate in actions that result in your unhappiness and discontentment. Yes, that's how it is. There is you. And with that, you are an absolute miracle, a masterpiece, created from a huge blueprint of your soul, from your being potentials. You are an incredible creation, formed from a vast design based on your unique essence and the endless possibilities within you. So cease doubting yourself. Self doubt is the graveyard where your potentials go to die and remain unfulfilled. And that is the path to spiritual ascension. If you seek satisfaction, if you seek love, if you seek truth, and if you seek wisdom, then you will find fulfillment and happiness in your journey towards spiritual growth and the realization of your true potential. And on occasion, you might find yourself pleasantly surprised to realize that fulfillment can be remarkably gentle and quiet, contrary to your expectations, and that the greatest happiness is discovered in the little pleasures of life. Yes, I am eagerly looking forward to your comments. So, how do you resonate with this podcast episode and the perspective that is being presented here? How do you feel being influenced by this perspective? What are you experiencing? How do you sense? What do you perceive? And if you'd like and are on Instagram, feel free to connect with us there as well, to network with each other. Yes, I also extend an invitation to you for our live show called Blueprint of Your Soul. No, the hyperlink to it, in case you're interested, can be found in the information box. Because for me, it is now very important to tell you that I sincerely wish you all the best from the bottom of my heart. With love, your spiritual sister, Linda.